All right, Sadie writes, question. Jonathan, what does it mean when when you are chatting to a guy online and he seems keen, then he stops messaging, but months later wants to restart the dialogue? What does it mean? Okay, great question, Sadie. So here's the thing. I'm just going to use me as a personal example. I've had plenty of connections with people I've met through this little device. Might be Bumble, might be Tinder, might be Facebook, might be Instagram, connected with people. And yet shit is going on in my life. I mean, every day something happens that causes me to disconnect from something I might be doing. Now, we oftentimes prioritize the most important things in our life, our professional life, our children, maybe our health, maybe our friends, maybe our parents. And so all of those important things in our life, when you're chatting with somebody and they're basically a stranger, life is going to take over. And if there's any chaos going on in someone's life, a contentious divorce, maybe issues at work, maybe health issues, it can cause a person to disconnect from someone. Okay. And this is a very common thing because the problem is, folks, it takes roughly about 100 hours of face-to-face time to build the first layer of trust. And so when you're communicating with someone online, you basically have built zero or almost zero trust with that person until you actually meet face to face. And then you got to meet face to face again and again and again and again. And you start building the roots to trust. So then you're asking yourself, okay, well, this person was keen on me. It just means they fancy you. They might have a little crush on you. I have little crushes on lots of people I've connected with online. All that really means is when I say crush, it just means I'm physically attracted to them, because until you actually spend time with someone, you don't know if you're really compatible with one another. So I'm here to say that it takes time to build that trust. And the reason why that person came back was because they did fancy you a little bit, and maybe they were going through a little bit of chaos, and that chaos subsided, and they put you back in their conscious, or you came back in their consciousness. Here's the thing, ladies, I want to encourage you to be bold. I want you to be radical. If you fancy a guy and he fancies you, then tell him you fancy him. Tell him you're keen on him. Because here's the thing, men need to hear this too. Men are thirsty to be wanted. And it's such this traditional, stupid, rules-based way of dating is causing so much frustration. It's no wonder people think that the dating process is so fucked up. Ladies, if you like a guy, tell him you like him. If it scares him away, good. He's a pussy. Kick him to the curb. Okay, that was cruel. I'm just kidding. But if a person gets scared because you told him you liked them, probably not a fit anyway. But to a guy like me, I'm a Leo. You tell a Leo you like them, we just keep going. We start moving forward and forward and forward. You need to, for guys like us Leos, or at least this Leo anyway, the more you tell us you like us, and if we're attracted to you, the more we keep coming after you, the more we invest in you. So that's my invitation, Sadie, is just to recognize that, hey, he's probably got some chaos going on in his life. He's got some issues going on in his life, and he might like you. But until you actually gain that 100 hours of face-to-face time, it doesn't really mean much of anything. As a friend of mine says, it isn't real until it's real. And so I hope that answers your question, Sadie. Thank you so much for that one. I really appreciate it. So, all right, question from Jackie. Will a man choose to marry a woman he didn't love because she has money and a career path, social status that he admires, but deeply loves someone else whose life path isn't aligned with him? Okay, so can a man do that? Absolutely. By the way, women do this habitually. I mean, it's probably more common that women marry for money that they don't like But certainly these days, now that women represent over 50% of the workforce, and there's a significant percentage of women making over one, two, $300,000 a year. I wouldn't doubt that there are plenty of men who would choose a woman based on money and status, and that they might love someone else. In fact, don't we all, on some level, have a torch for someone in our past? That's not uncommon. The reality is most human beings are riddledly flawed. Just coming back to my emotional, relationship skills chart, is most human beings are flawed. So their behavior is going to look rather erratic. There's no right or wrong here. I'm just saying that women choose men for money and men choose women for money as well. It's just more common women do it more so than men. So to answer your question, yes, men do that. All right. Jackie, thank you so much for your question. I really appreciate it. All right.